Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD. In my over 30 years of medical practice, I have made it my goal to help you create a great life by achieving a strong mind, a healthy body, and an unshakable spirit. What I want to talk to you today about are really the origins of what I call the automatic brain. As adults, we have different drives, different urges, different psychological mechanisms that drive our behavior, and those are deeply influenced by what I've described as the automatic brain because they're automatic, and basically they're automatic to protect us from danger, threats, or vulnerability by causing us to fight or flee those things. But the events and circumstances in our life that create this and that we perceive as danger are always influenced by circumstances that we experience as children. And it's a primitive instinct. This is a animalistic instinct, animalistic drives, primitive drives. And when I say primitive, it doesn't mean we're primitive. It means that the part of our brain that responds to it is not very much different than when it was in our cave-dwelling ancestors 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. And it's antiquated, yet it drives our behavior. And this article looks at how adverse childhood experiences affect our emotional intelligence, because that serves as the framework of this automatic brain. And it serves as the framework because our brain stops growing or developing mainly by adolescence or early teenage years. Very little growth and development occurs after that. So it's kind of locked in. So depending on our childhood circumstances, it will affect our automatic brain. That's why I find in medicine, it's so frustrating because when we treat adults, we do not, very rarely do we address this aspect of their lives. And we take somebody in a vacuum with their signs and symptoms, and we treat them and put Band-Aids on them when not really delving in and diving in to mainly the possible origins that maybe their physical symptoms are actually fight or flight responses, just masked in a different way. So let's go over this article. Key points. Strong, distressing emotions are a normal part of life. If unchecked, disturbing emotions can damage one's health, mood, and functioning. Yes. Many skills, including compassionate awareness, can help a person respond to unpleasant emotions in different beneficial ways. Life throws each of us curveballs, hurts, disappointments, and losses. In response, we understandably feel intensely unpleasant emotions, such as grief, fear, anger, guilt, and sadness. For those who have unresolved memories of adverse childhood experiences, present challenges often stir up similar, intense emotions from the past. And these unresolved memories could also be unconscious memories. So they haven't been brought to the level of awareness and consciousness, so they're kind of always churning up on the inside with us not really knowing what is motivating our behavior because they haven't been brought up to our awareness. They've been repressed somehow. Intense emotions from the past. Now the survivor must not only deal with the present pain, but also the emotional pain from the past. Critical components of emotional intelligence include acknowledging and having the skills to settle strong, distressing emotions, understanding their source, and having ways to manage them. So emotional intelligence is really not only intelligence with your own emotions, but also reading the room, so to speak, reading your experience, reading to be able to pick up cues, social cues, or body language cues from others in a circumstance or an environment, or just having the common sense of the world around you and how it's affecting your circumstance at that present moment. Dysregulated stress, arousal that is stuck on too high or too low, fight or flight in a sense, is central to the adverse, okay, I'm going to go back to that acronym. So ACE stands for adverse childhood experience. Okay. Essential to the adverse childhood experience, ACE, health outcomes link. Importantly, intensely distressing emotions that we don't handle well trigger, maintain, and worsen dysregulated stress. This post explores certain skills that we can learn to temper strong, distressing emotions so that we can gain control of our mood, health, and functioning. And I bring this to you because this not only affects your emotional, mental health, but your physical health as well. These skills will later play a key role in settling unresolved memories related to ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Mindful awareness. Imagine that you are slowly tracking what's occurring throughout your body. At some point, your awareness rests on your knee where you notice that there is a pain. Rather than bracing against the pain, which worsens the pain, you embrace it gently and kindly, holding it much as you would hold a child who is in pain until the child is ready to return to playing. I like this. You breathe compassion into the area that hurts, and the compassion soothes and eases the pain. When thoughts arise, such as, I can't stand this pain, or I've got to kill this pain, you simply bring your kind, non-judgmental, accepting, and curious awareness back to the area where the pain is. And when you are ready, you take a more intentional breath into the area that hurts. As you breathe out, your awareness of that area dissolves as you shift your attention to a different area of your body. Paradoxically, when we accept the pain and hold it in kind awareness, the pain often lessens simply by changing our response to the pain. Because what is pain? Pain is a signal that there's danger, right? But what is that danger? Is the danger necessarily in your knee or your back? Or is it a distraction from the real danger or the pain, the real pain, which lies in the unresolved adverse childhood event or experience? Or is it a pain that is a distraction from the deep emotional hurt that you're experiencing in your daily life right now? So if you treat the pain differently, it has a better chance of going away. Instead of putting a Band-Aid or trying to use painkillers, try this mindful approach because it just may very well work. And it doesn't work for everything because obviously there's things that cause pain that are real serious and you may need to have that checked out. But as long as it does check out, you might try this approach because the pain itself could very well be a distraction because what causes the pain might be what's called microhypoxemia. Okay, so a very slight decrease in the oxygen delivery. I'm talking minute, microscopic decrease in blood flow to that area because your brain knows that you can't take that pain, that emotional pain. So what does it do? Anytime that primitive part of our brain detects danger, threat, or vulnerability, causes us to fight or flee. So if you're focusing on and distracting yourself with that pain, it's actually successful in helping you flee that very painful emotion. Now imagine what would happen if you located emotional pain in your body, breathed compassion into that area without judging or fighting against the pain, and softened the pain with kindness. Research has shown that this kind of mindful awareness reduces its intensity and increases our ability to cope with distressing emotions. Self-compassion. Although sitting mindfully with distressing emotions has been shown to be very effective, self-compassion confers additional benefits. Developed and described by Dr. Kristen Neff, self-compassion begins with compassionate, mindful awareness of one's suffering and then encourages the suffering individual to repeat 4 statements to oneself, such as, "This is a moment of suffering. This greatly acknowledges pain without judging or immediately trying to fix it, each of which creates tension. Suffering is a part of life. This reminds us that we are all in the same boat. Everyone suffers. And I have a quotation that I say is that kindness is the understanding that we all struggle. Everyone suffers and wishes to be happy. We are not alone. May I bring compassion to this moment? Compassion elicits huge and beneficial changes in the brain and body because compassion is no danger. It's no threat. It's no vulnerability. So it doesn't trigger that emotion or that primitive automatic response to fight or flee. May I give myself the kindness I need right now. Research has shown that kindness is more motivating and produces better functioning than harsh criticism. The combination of kind awareness and self-compassion has been shown to be a powerful antidote to disturbing emotions. This approach is more effective than trying to avoid distressing emotions or trying to cover them with work, drugs, or other addictions. Oh boy, I agree with that. Other tools. Fortunately, there are other tools that help us cope with difficult emotions. For example, confiding emotional pain in writing has been repeatedly shown to lessen distress and improve health. Back in the day when I was writing my book, Brain Drain, it evolved from my weekly messages that I would send out to my email list. And a lot of people would come to me and say, well, Dr. G, CoachMD, Dr. Charles, it sounds as though you're writing directly to me about your experiences. And also, I at the time I had 4 young children, busy household. They would say, how do you find the time to do that? And I would say that first off, about addressing the fact that this is not, that this is directly to them. No, I was speaking to myself. And the second part, how do I find time? I needed that time to put down my thoughts. And why would I get sad or angry or bitter or jealous or whatever? Why would I experience those emotions? I had to dig into it and try to figure out for myself. And it just so happens that just like everybody, has pain, I have pain just like anybody else. I wanted to delve into it. And as I exposed my vulnerability, people were able to understand. The readership was able to understand that, yes, we're all in this boat together. So I think that's very important to realize and to really embrace. Rather than holding emotional pain inside where it can eat one up, one expresses the pain in writing, typically for 15 to 30 minutes a day for 4 days. The writer expresses the facts, emotions, thoughts, images, and bodily sensations related to upsetting events. Bringing all aspects of an upsetting recent event, feelings, bodily sensations, thoughts, and images, and then tapping certain parts of the body or following eye movements or strategies derived from trauma treatments that can usually safely be tried by individuals to rapidly reduce emotional distress. Yes, because it's no longer a distraction. You're actually addressing, and it could be something, a uncomfortable or dangerous emotional feeling that maybe it's your relationship with your significant other that's causing it, or it could be childhood. It could be a lot of things, but putting it down and really, instead of reacting, is helpful to abate that fight or flight response and drive you into a distracted type of practice where you're developing physical signs and symptoms that actually distract you from what's really causing the danger or pain. In conclusion, this is a sampling of skills that can be that can effectively change the way we respond to difficult emotions. Skills like these, when mastered through practice, are generally helpful for dealing with difficult emotions in the present. If the pain seems overwhelming and the skills are not helping, that could signal a need to seek the help of a mental health professional specializing in treating traumatic wounds. So let me know what you think about this. I find this a very poignant article and some great advice and some great pointers to help you get over emotional pain and that lead to distracting physical symptoms. So until next time, I'm Dr. Charles, a.k.a. CoachMD, urging you to stay strong in mind, in body, and in soul. Bye for now.
Dr. Charles, CoachMD, thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think you have a friend who might benefit from this video, share it with them. For access to exclusive content, support my Patreon. There you'll get private access to videos, meditations, health tips, even relationship and financial tips. You'll have a say in what I produce and be able to participate in a monthly call with me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon.